Hey, hello, welcome to AML course for the beginners. This is module 2, Python for AML, and this is part 1, basics of Python. In part 1, we are now in the third video. In the previous video, we learned about how to assign a value to a variable, how to use a print function, and then how to use input function to get a value from the user. We also learned about type castinations and a lot of other things. Whereas in this video, we are going to concentrate predominantly on operators, arithmetic operators, conditional operators, and then logical operators. So we are going to learn all these operators in detail in this video. So let's start with creating a new title for our operators. So let me create that as a operators. So in that operators, first we are going to talk about arithmetic operators. So I'll create a subtopic under this operators as a arithmetic operators, right? So we have a arithmetic operators. So which is going to be our subtopic. There are few arithmetic operations that we can do in Python. For example, all these are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and then division. This gives quotient value, and then we have this modulus operation which gives us a remainder. So the first one will give us a quotient value, whereas the second one will give us a remainder value. So quotient and remainder, and then we have a floor division. So these are the basic operators. On top of that, we can also use this double star, and couple of these operators can be used in the string operations as well, which we will discuss after our numerical operators. Let's do a practical stuff using all these operators. So let me take two different numbers, and then let me use this way, print of 8 space 5. Now I'm going to apply all the operations for these two numbers starting from additions to all the floor divisions numbers. So let me copy this. So first thing is addition, and then second we have a subtraction, and then third we have a multiplication, and then we have this division, then we have a modulus operation, followed by we have a floor divisions, and finally we have this double asterisk. All right. So let's see the results of this arithmetic operators. So 8 plus 5, 13, that we know. And then 8 minus 5, 3, 8 into 5, 40. So this gives a quotient value. As I mentioned, 8 divided by 5 will have 1, and then we have a remaining 6. So remaining 3, that goes 0.6, right? So that's 1.6, only quotients. Now when you take this quotient value 1.6, you get remainder 0. But if you concentrate more on the remainders, for example, this way, 8 modulus of 5, where you got only 3, because 8, it goes only one time, the balance remainder is 3. If I check with 10 modulus of 5, the remainder would be 0. And then the floor division. The floor division is nothing but you get the integer value of the division parameters. What is the integer value of division is this. 1.6 is the actual division. The integer value is 1. So this is not kind of rounding off. It just gives you the decimal integer part. It just ignores the decimal part. And this, it's 8 to the power of 5. So let me redo this way so that you can understand 2 and 3. Right? So 2 power 3, which is 8. So 2 into 2 into 2. This is the power. Right? So 8 to the power of 5 is what we got, 32,768. Whereas this is the power. And for the floor divisions, let me do this way. So we all know that 22 divided by 7 that we get 3.14. Now if I use the same thing for using floor division, then I will get only the division part, integer part, which is 3. Right? So if you want to have only the integer part, you can use this. The other way is to convert that into a proper integer instead of having as a float. But this is the easiest way instead of converting from one object to other object. As I already mentioned in our previous introduction, that some of these operators can be used in the string operations as well, right? So those are this addition and this multiplication. So let's check two things, right? Where I'll take hello. So we already know use this plus in the string concatenations in the print function itself. Now I can use this addition operation to add two different strings, which is string concatenations, right? So whatever we have, it is just adding it. Now if I want to have some space, then I have to include space in either of this. Either I have to add space in hello or before the word world. Now we got hello space world. So whatever we have between in the string format, that will get added here. Now what will this multiplication will do here? Let me take apple multiplied with, you cannot multiply with another string like our previous string concatenations, but here you can just use integer. This will give us a duplication. So if you want to repeat the string multiple times, then you can multiply with the some numbers. So for the multiplication, you have to use like this, right? Apple or string into an integer. Whereas the another one, we have to use two strings for the string concatenations. So that's it for arithmetic operators. Now we'll talk about conditional operators. All right, let me create another subtopic. Conditional operators, where is, all right. So where we check the like greater than or smaller than, all these things, right? So for a conditional operators, we have greater than, lesser than, greater than or equal to, lesser than or equal to, equal to, and not equal to. Again, we'll take the same number, right? Print of 8 and 5. All right, so we'll have the same number. Now we are going to apply all the operations between these two. First, 8 is greater than 5, 8 is lesser than 5, 8 is greater than or equal to 5, 8 is lesser than or equal to 5, and then we have 8 is equal to 5 and not equal to. So these are the operators. Now these conditional operators will give only the true or false, or I can say comparison operators, because we are comparing with two different numbers. These comparators will give only the true and false as a result. So generally we use these conditional operators in the if cases, while cases, kind of that, to take a decisions, right? So these results are only in the Boolean format. For example, here 8 is greater than 5. We know 8 is greater than 5, so we get true. For this we get false, true, false, and 8 is not, it's actually we are checking whether 8 and 5 is equal. No, it is not. So we get false. And then we are telling there 8 is not equal to 5. Yes, it is not equal. Right? True, false, and then false, true. Right? So this is how you get a result for the conditional operators. Generally, conditional operators will be used in the if conditions and all other scenarios, right? Now we know how to use the conditional operators, how to use the arithmetic operators. We are going to talk about logical operators. Logical operators where we have to use the logical gates or logic gates, right? So which is and, or, and, not. So and, not, let me put it this way, not and or. So these are the logical operators. Again, we get only Boolean results whenever you use logical operators or conditional operators. You get only true or false, right? So for this, what I'm going to do is I'll take this way. So print of, all right. So I'll take some numbers here, same 8, and then I'll take 5, all right, and again I'll take another number 3 and 10. So the scenario is, I'm going to put this way, 8 is greater than 5 and 3 is lesser than 10, right? Now the AND gate, you know that both the side it should get true. Here 8 is greater than 5, yes it is true. 3 is less than 10, it is also true. So you get true as a result. Whereas if I change this results the number as 13, Now 13 is not lesser than 10, so that side you get false. One side you get true, other side you get false. The total result is false. Now if I make this way 13 and then 15. Now both the sides are false, so obviously you get false. So for the AND gate, you get true only when both the sides are true, right? If not, you get false. If either of this case is false, 0, you get 0, right? So AND gate is like a multiplication. There are a lot of use cases that we have to use AND, so especially whenever you are checking something using if cases or while cases, you have to use this AND operation. Now we are going to use OR. The same way that we are going to use OR, but OR is if either of side is true, then it's fine, it's true, right? Only when both the sides are false, it gives false. Now what I'm going to use, the same thing, alright? In the first case, both are true. In the second case, one is true, another one is false. In the third case, both are false. Now we get true, true, false, right? You can see, because here both are true, here either of the side, as I mentioned, either of the side is true, then we get a true as a results, and this is the false because of both the side we got a false. Now we are going to talk about NOT operators, which is little bit tricky because we are going to check something is there which are we don't have a value at all. For example, I create some variable called num and I assign a value as none. None means null values. So I created this variable, but there is no value at all. So now I'm going to check print not num. Print not num. So I'm checking this, then print num value is not null value, right? So you get a results here. So the result we got is true, yes, because the num variable doesn't have any value. So we checked there is no value in the num. Yes, no value, true. Not num means it is checking the num variable shouldn't have any value at all. Now if I assign, I'll take the same not num. I'll assign some value to this variable, right, which is 5. If I check this, I get false because now we are checking for num variable which should be a true or null value, but actually it is not because we assigned something called 5. So we got false. So whenever you want to ensure that if something is empty, then you can use not num, right? So that you easily get a true or false, right? So these are the 3 operators that we have in the Python, which we will use in every single operations, right? So in this video, we learned how to use operators like arithmetic operators, logical operators, and conditional operators. In the next video, we are going to talk about if-else scenarios, right? So like how to use if, elif, else, and all these things, right? So that's it for this video. Thank you for participating. Have a great day ahead. I'll see you in the next video.